Everyone knows the story of Little Red Riding Hood. But what happened after? The wolf wasn't defeated. He was locked away in Lord Edmund's castle cellar, but in the dark, he dug. Every night, until one day he escaped. Meanwhile, Red Riding Hood set sail with Lord Edmund on a journey across the Mediterranean, a voyage of legends and wonder, where she would discover forgotten tales and face real dangers. In Naples, a terrifying volcanic eruption, and a timeless fable of a grasshopper and an ant. In Santorini, a violent storm at sea, and a touching story between a fisherman and a dolphin. And in Istanbul, the return of the wolf, and a fable about a swan and a scorpion where instinct battles deception. But in the shadows, the wolf boarded a ship too. From the port of Marseille, disguised as a gentleman, he crossed stormy seas in fury, chasing Red Riding Hood from one city to the next. He faced his own chaos, a run-in with the mafia in Naples, a near-death storm in Santorini, a wild chase through the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul. But the wolf doesn't give up. This time, he's out for revenge, and he swears this time he'll win. Red Riding Hood arrives in Naples. Not far away, she visits the ruins of Pompeii, a city frozen in time. There, in a half-broken Roman theater, a cricket plays guitar. He looks up and says, "What I'm about to tell you really happened, a long time ago, during the Roman Empire." Lyria, the grasshopper, spent her days singing and dancing, joyful, light, carefree. Her neighbor, Claudia the ant, never stopped working. She dug a shelter, she stored food, she prepared. Lyria teased her, "Why worry? Just enjoy life." But Claudia knew better. She had seen signs from the mountain. And one day, it happened. The sky turned black. Fire rained from the volcano. The people of Pompeii ran screaming. There were fireballs in the sky. Lyria ran to Claudia's home. "Please, help me." Claudia said, "You sang all summer. Now you can dance." And she closed the door, but her heart ached. She changed her mind and pulled Lyria into the shelter beneath the street. Together they survived, while Pompeii was devastated. So what can we learn? Life isn't only about fun. Yes, singing, playing, enjoying the moment, it matters, but we also have to work hard and prepare for hard times, because the storm doesn't warn you before it comes. Elsewhere, the wolf arrives in Naples. He thinks he's the predator, but he doesn't realize the local mafia is already watching him. When he tries to trap Red Riding Hood in a narrow alley, a group of stick-wielding men steps out of the shadows. In Naples, no one makes the rules except them. A wild chase breaks out through staircases, rooftops, tiny streets. The wolf escapes, barely. When you travel, you have to pay attention to local customs, respect how things are done, because if you don't adapt, you'll run into trouble. Red Riding Hood boards a ship to Santorini. White houses, blue rooftops, sunset on cliffs. While walking by the shore, she meets an old man sitting by the sea, Demetrios. What I'm about to tell you happened when I was a young fisherman. There were 4 fishermen in the village. One day, one of them caught a dolphin in his net and threw it back violently. The dolphin was hurt. It drifted, bleeding. Demetrios found it, carried it onto his boat, and turned an old fishing boat into a saltwater pool. Every day he brought it fresh sardines. People laughed, but he didn't stop. Weeks passed. The dolphin healed. Demetrios carried it back to the ocean and set it free. Then one day, the sky turned dark. A terrible storm hit the island. Boats capsized, waves crashed. The fishermen were lost, all of them drowned. All but one, Demetrios, because the dolphin came back and saved him. Sometimes doing good doesn't seem to matter, but kindness always finds its way back. When you help someone in need, it might one day save your life. Meanwhile, the wolf has a new plan: to pose as a Greek sailor and offer Red Riding Hood a private boat tour. He fights a local, steals a small boat, and sails off to practice. But he doesn't look at the sky. Dark clouds gather. A violent storm slams into the island. The wolf is tossed into the waves. He nearly drowns. Before heading out into nature, check the weather. The sea doesn't care who you are. Nature makes no exceptions. Istanbul, a city of secrets between Europe and Asia. Red Riding Hood walks through the grand bazaar and enters an old bookshop. The shopkeeper smiles. "Let me tell you a story." A majestic swan flew above the Bosphorus, graceful, peaceful, admired. One day, a scorpion called to him, "Please help me cross the water. I can't swim." The swan hesitated. "But if you sting me—" "If I do, we both drown," said the scorpion. The swan believed him. He let him climb on, but in the middle of the strait, the scorpion stung. The swan gasped. "Why? You promised." "I'm sorry," said the scorpion. "It's in my nature." And they both sank. Some say I couldn't help it. It's who I am. But that's not true. We always have a choice. The scorpion chose to sting, and the swan ignored the warning signs. When your heart tells you something feels wrong, listen, even if the words are sweet, even if the danger wears a pretty mask. Elsewhere in the bazaar, the wolf picks a quiet perfume shop. He fights the merchant, locks him in a closet, and puts on his Ottoman robes. He waits. Later, Red Riding Hood walks by. She catches a familiar scent. The wolf greets her gently, speaks of rare, magical perfumes. She follows him in, but something's off. Such big ears, such big eyes, such big teeth, she realizes. Too late. He grabs her, pulls her to the back. Lord Edmund bursts in. A fight breaks out. Perfume bottles crash. Scents explode. The wolf vanishes into the crowd of the Great Bazaar again. 3 stops, 3 tales, 3 traps. But the journey's just beginning. Next up, Egypt. A wild camel chase across the pyramids. A sandstorm that threatens Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. And ancient stories waiting to be discovered. Follow us on YouTube to see what happens next. More adventures, more danger, more stories that just might change the way you see the world.